Hello. Alright, this is Corin Dubose, man. And I'm gonna make another short video that's supposed to be short but might not turn out to be, man. Some years ago I got blacklisted and to that whole targeted individual and gang stalking crap. And a lot of people complaining about that on YouTube and online. It's getting to the point now where everybody's pretty much put out the information on what's being done, and not so much information on who's doing it, who's actually using this. This is an aerospace defense grid. It's militarized satellite technology. And not just satellite technology, it's weaponized communications technology. You can imagine that this stuff was originally used by the CIA. Counter espionage, counterintelligence actions, hotwiring people suspected of being double agents for the Russians and so on and so forth. You can name a whole list of people that would have been using this technology, from special forces to the biggest spies and shit out there. But that's not what's important. What gets these people going in America is first of all, there's a football mentality. That there's a side. Everybody's got to get a side and a team and a name and a flag to go with it. It's like, so you see targeted individuals out there. It's literally passing out T-shirts and bracelets, but nobody's actually going to these meetings and listing who's doing this and what the next steps about it should be done. What should be done to the people that are doing it. Like, if you follow me, you know how I feel about them already. You pretty much know how I think if you followed me. I think the people that are doing it ought to be shot on the job behind the monitor where they are, up there at Fort Meade. I think they should be shot up there in the Defense Intelligence Agency and the DHS. That's what I think. Alright, but so you don't want to listen to me and get the FBI following you around, because if you're one of these people that has been blacklisted, the only end goal is going to be mental institutions, incarceration, or the cemetery, which is the main goal, is to get you out of society. It's a social isolation and removal operation. So there's a whole plethora of agencies involved, not to mention the United States military, and any of these homeland security sources. So with that being said, what's going on in America is amazing. They're using harassing frequencies. They can hijack online electronic devices, like smartphones and tablets, PCs that are hooked up online or have Wi-Fi access built into them, Wi-Fi cards plugged in, even though that's a little bit dated. These people are using Wi-Fi and X-band signals to basically blanket people's consciousness with a saturation effect into the environment that makes it. It's basically making if you've got to be Nikola Tesla to even understand this. The original power line was I think thought of an idea of what a power line could be like, or these Tesla called things. These are big devices that they were gonna just put out there. What were they they have the little spear things or whatever. I don't know if they were Tesla cars, but I'm getting off the topic. They have the electronic energy just jump from one pole to the next, and it's all wireless. So wireless is not nothing new. What else is wireless that a lot of people don't understand that is wireless? Your thought waves. Let me see if you can follow me in a little mental exercise right now to know what's going on in America is so bad. And this is for the international community, and as much it is for every American citizen that actually gives a shit anymore. Alright. You know what else is wireless? Your thought signals are wireless. Your thought signals are not your gray matter of your brain scrunching around its wrinkles and causing you to have thoughts and imagine things. When you think, an electronic signal is emitted between all those little neurons and synapses inside your brain, and this information is either stored and relayed to whatever corresponding part of the brain and body that's being connected communicated with. All right, so when you think, every time you think, it is a wireless transmission. All right, those people simply figured out what frequency those wireless thought transmissions inside the human brain were on, and they learned how to fabricate it, make it synthetic. They can send out you can imagine that a thought has an imprint on it the moment you think about it. All right, for example, I'm staring at a New York hat, which is gray. All right, when I thought that I was gonna say just then, I'm staring at a New York hat that is gray, I heard myself saying that, and there was a wireless transmission inside of my brain. Where did that wireless transmission come from? It came from the soul to the brain telling me that's what I should say next. So my soul just told my brain what my body should vocalize, and that's what my body did, because that's where my soul computer is. That's the keyboard to the rest of the body. All right. So what they figured out how to do is they hijack that, and they can send out blank mental waves, and they're using remote neural monitoring to achieve transmental resonance. Basically, that's what that's doing is they've fine-tuned how your brain works. All right, some of that was called brain card, and I don't know how extensive that goes, but I know how it kind of works. It's basically they're sitting up getting a readout of how you think based on what parts of your brain to find out. You say, well, how in the hell are these people doing that remotely, man? Well, if you've not been microchipped or implanted with some of these substances that are going into our bodies, I mean, the best way you can describe this transmental resonance thing and remote neural monitoring is they know what frequency you think on, and they can make it apparent to themselves and other people. I'm saying, well, how the hell is that possible? Well, simple, through the electronic systems they placed around us. They can geolocate you with satellites, track you and target you down to your heartbeat rhythm. It is that advanced through multispectral imaging. You can imagine these people can put satellites in outer space. They can see into the heart of other galaxies and know what some of that weird stuff in outer space like quasars look like. Okay, imagine what they can do if they take the same device and, you know, weaponize it and point it back at the Earth where human beings are walking the streets. Which is what they did. That's not Alice in Wonderland is any further. They weaponized space up there because they knew that the technological gap between them and their rival societies when it comes to the nuclear weapons capability on the planet Earth was pretty soon going to be all but gone. Countries like North Korea and China coming up to be credible military threats against the United States, at least in the Asian Pacific. I mean, when I say credible threats, I don't mean these are terrorists and waiting in caves to be bombed by F-22 Raptors and sending out tweets and shit of them chopping off what amounts to little children from the local village next door. It's shock value. Get some attention from the West. Psychological warfare and all that mixed in. With these people have hacked our brains, so I don't want to go off into what's happening in the news, and you should be watching what's happening in the news because there's a genocide going on in the Middle East, from North Africa on through Yemen on to the Middle East, to Iraq, and everything in between. There's literally a land of genocide and human displacement on a scale that's it's getting pretty biblical over there. I mean, this is World War II stuff happening in 2018, man. It's like it's all the hallmarks of what led up to World War II. And you've got to watch the news. What's going on in America is frightening. They've hacked our brains, and those frequencies not only hack the human brain and make your thoughts apparent, it's going to be hard to follow me. So just kind of follow me. They've hacked the human brain. Let's not go too much into the technology because it's already on YouTube. If you want to go into the technology right now, go into YouTube. I'm going to delve off into don't mention the reptiles territory before I stop my video. So mention the reptiles. Okay. The same technology that makes it easy for these NSA people and these gang stalkers, which there are a bunch of different people who would do this to you for whatever various reasons you've got it blacklisted in life. It makes it also easy for entities in other dimensions to have a conduit by which to attack you. So it's a double whammy. Not only are they harassing you from these NSA hubs and monitors and just making your life a living hell with psychological and harassment and EM field harassment, which is damaging to the cell's ability to divide. You know, that causes premature aging. Eventually you lose appetite, hair loss, teeth start falling out, nails, like fingernails and toenails could start falling out and becoming brittle. So these people are trying to kill you. So, and to make that worse, that energy field, just like they tell you that you living in a vortex, an energy vortex, when they're dealing with haunted houses. When people are living under these grids or power lines, you know, certain houses that are like, you know, in a triangle of these power lines, you know, there's too many power lines concentrated around them. It's like a vortex is created. Those entities can travel through power lines. Now, I don't know if you've seen the Mothman Prophecies. I read the book, the Mothman Prophecies. It's written by author John A. Keel. I'm not sure what John Keel wrote, but I know Operation Trojan Horse is a must-read if you can find a copy of it. Otherwise, you might be looking it up as an ebook online. A very outdated book. But it goes into detail about these sub-dimensional astral energies and what it's like, goes into ufology and stuff like that too. So what these people are doing around you is they're making it easier for ghosts to fuck with you, for ghosts to get on your nerves and be annoying. And some of these entities are demonic. If you've been following me, remember what I told you. The most likely ghosts that are going to be hanging around humans were people who were pieces of crap in life that really ended their lives badly. I don't like mentioning Peggy Kane's name, but she's one of the most accurate people on it. But I knew she was under a psychological attack. I just didn't understand it back then when I first read about it. Well, not read about it, but watched the documentary UFO Hypothesis featuring her. Yeah, that happens, Peggy Kane. I was shocked to find an older white lady, you know, talking about that stuff, you know. And I had grown up in Montgomery, Alabama, a black dude saying the same stuff and never knowing what was going on, what those entities were, standing by the bed or none of that stuff. Why was I astral projecting? None of that stuff. I never knew it. I see somebody else is going through, so I do more research. And I had been reading people like David Icke, who tend to delve more into conspiracy and alternative versions of history, which there's nothing wrong with it. But so back to where I was. What the lady was saying is true. These entities are in the spirit world, and a lot of the psychological control of what goes on in our society is coming from that world, the spirit world, the astral plane. That's where these leeches get onto you, and they're not like giant leeches out of the river. They're leech behaving spirits. They're attached to you. All right, and they live vicariously through you, and it's not dead people that's doing this. It is entities that want to mimic human beings and live through you, and that's how they feed. If you die and get stuck in that world unprotected and unguided by these more benevolent entities, what happens to you, those things are going to overwhelm you. They will hunt you down. They can enter your dreams at night, but really, when they're entering your dreams, they are around you in the astral plane, and they're decoding your thoughts. And when they can decode your thoughts, much like this technology is done for these evil-ass people at the NSA, these demonic entities, when they decode your thoughts, they can imprint themselves into your dream time. Eventually, it's like the invasion of the body snatchers. In America right now, it's like the invasion of the body snatchers. That's why I say it's dangerous in America right now, because these people can preempt where you're going. Like, they know when you're finna shop at a certain location because they can hear your thoughts ahead of time. They're broadcasting your thoughts outward. Alright, they know who you are. They know what you're thinking about while you're hanging around out in public. While you're at home alone, you're not alone anymore. It's like an invasion of the body snatchers. When you go out in public, they're gonna engage you. All right, these people will attack you as demonic, and when you look at their behavior and their sharp change in mood towards you, when you're one of these targeted individuals like I am, you'll notice they almost develop almost like hyena, like glaring eyes. You can see the overtone of the entity turn their eyes that golden yellow glow, and that smile turns that golden yellow glow to it. It's almost like a spirit with a sinister smirk is over their faces, and doesn't matter what color they are. They seem to avoid small children and not use them. But adults, middle-aged adults to teenagers seem to be prime targets for people they use as walk-ins or host bodies. So these walk-in personalities are public. I mean, it's an emergency situation, emergency spiritual event going on in America because of what they're doing with this technology. That satellite grid is bad news that Ronald Reagan proposed to deal with extraterrestrial threats, because the extraterrestrial threat that Ronald Reagan was pointing out to Mikhail Gorbachev and the rest of the international community were Enoch's watchers, the angels that Enoch had told God would tell to stay on the planet and watch humanity, because the sons of the Nephilim were also on the planet. And in the latter days, what did Enoch say about them? Said that there would be increased attacks by Sheddim. You know, these Giberim. And what did he say? He said they will enter into houses and they will dwell in their residences of man, because they came from man. From men, they were born from men, and from the nature of these angels that came from a divinity. And when they got out of their bodies in the ancient world, they couldn't go into outer space because they were corrupt. They were not ever supposed to exist, so God wouldn't take them along with his civilization, and they were left on the earth, and they became demonic because they should never existed. Now they don't have bodies, they have nowhere else to go but to hunt the astral plane for what amounts to thousands of years, and their food source is humanity, just like it was before they died. When they ran out of livestock and cattle to eat, they turned to cannibalism. So that's what we're dealing with there. It's a latter end time, and they open the gate for these things to basically leech onto you. And what they're doing in public is not only that these people are preempting your thoughts, they're becoming hosts to these walk-in spirits on the other side. And for all intents and purposes, if they're doing that, they've got to know that that's possible. Because you don't just have this technology and not know the full extent of its capabilities. The target doesn't know more than the person shooting the bow and arrow does. Especially if the target has its back turned, doesn't know who's trying to get rid of them. So while you're thinking that your cell phone is talking shit to you, it's actually them hijacking your cell phone so they can make your life a living hell. Turn that into a torture and harassment device. Jack up everything. Download apps to your PCs and tablets without you knowing them that will sit up and talk shit to you. It just opens a little internet window that opens your speakers up on your cell phones and tablets and PCs to where they can turn on the extremely low frequency spectrum of those factory made speakers. Could be GPX, Sony, Pioneer speakers. Turn them the hell on an ELF frequency that's undertoning the music you listen to. So while you're bumping your favorite R&B artist or rock star, well, the NSA is bumping a signal that'll make you go shoot up a public school or some movie theater. And when they put these guys on TV, they're in their mental and physical state will be akin to what I'm experiencing right now. A nervous twitch. They can't sit still. They're in a daze. Their eyes are off, like 1,000-mile stare, except the googly-eyed 1,000-mile stare. It's like their brain's been fried partially. And notice that their smiles, all those guys that they pop on TV after they've done these mass public shootings, they're stuck in his seizure smile. It's please hurry, rush me to the hospital. My face is seizing up because the NSA's hot wired my brain smile. So the guy that the Batman theater with the orange wig, you know, that Mark Zuckerberg looking guy that shot up the Colorado theater. Yeah, I said that on purpose because Mark Zuckerberg. I'm not gonna be nice to people who come to school and punch me over a lady from Montgomery, Alabama's broadcast radio show spitting out gossip. All right, that's what that was about, man. That was that wasn't even a fist fight, man. That was a shouting match that got ended by the improperly ended by the school's administration. But be careful whose side you choose when you sit up here thinking that these pictures of people are them. These pictures of people that they put on Facebook are just that damn faces, man. And you, the freaking CEO, should know that. All right, before you sell people out for these fucking faces that are probably smoking crack pipes. Their nephews and nieces are telling these crackheads and shit down here in this city where I come from how to get on there. And that's who's being messy around Montgomery, Alabama. This ain't no big time Christian ass, homely ass city. A lot of these people don't give a shit. They're not at work every day. They're around me behind the liquor store every day. Alright? Don't get it twisted up there on your high horse, man. You're not being moral. I'm saying to these people what I would say to them in public. Because Facebook is so open and easy to use, I'll curse them out back through them because I know they're dumb enough to fucking sit there and read themselves being cursed. Americans are fucking idiots. Why would you read yourself being cursed the fuck back out? Now, at least I can't control the fact that I can hear your thoughts being forced into mine, and my thoughts are being forced outward to you. Well, I'll say any fucking thing to you, even if it's racist in public. Especially if you're an NSA professional sitting up there calling me niggas and shit through your fucking headset, man. You know, you need to be shot up there behind that monitor. And these people are making movies. Yeah, did you like Key and Peele's psychological horror? Sitting up watching Facebook accounts. Maybe that black guy in Montgomery's Facebook account made yourself several $1 million. You're gonna donate them all to charity. You're gonna get back at this black guy. Everybody's doing it for Barack Obama. Hey, does everybody know Barack Obama is no longer the president and he's no longer anything to the black community? And in 8 years he did nothing for the black community except halfway through his presidency involve himself into an ongoing NSA, well, not NSA, but basically it's just, you might as well call them the feds. Huh? The federal government is criminal. They committed genocide on one side of the planet, and now they've opened the gates of hell in their own cities, using Wi-Fi, all things, and satellites. The shit that everybody loves, social media. So these demons are walking around with walk-ins in them, and they're more interested in staring at the shape of your body on a social media account than they are going out and talking to real people in public. When these people meet up in public, they're talking to their cell phones to you. You're like, you see that shit. There's a bunch of people staring at smartphones hanging out together as a group. And the smartphone is doing all the... I mean, our smartphones... wow. People walking down the street almost blind with a smartphone directing where they're going. I think that Pokemon Go is an experiment to streamline that technology. Basically automating and digitizing these people. But unfortunately for you, the more electronic your body gets, the more susceptible it is to electronic attack. Just like a computer. And electronic machines of war are susceptible to electronic attack. Kind of like when the Russians demonstrated that their some of their crap, what is it, Su-25, was it Su-35 that shut off the, the Admiral Cook or whatever it was called? It shut off its electronics. Just shut them the hell off. You know, they can do that to your brain. They can shut off your thoughts while you're thinking and typing, and think you're speaking out against this isolation and removal stuff. It's targeted individual stuff. They can stop you from talking about UFOs. And back to what I was saying about Enoch's watches. Whoever those S4 ops people are, these men in black people. By the way, the men in black consist of people like S4 ops, which is covert conglomerations of military intelligence people and other government agencies that are going to black budget programs, you know. programs which the expenditures that go into maintaining these programs cannot be made public, because you can imagine trillions of dollars are going down the drain for these people to create the ability for me and you to argue mentally across miles of territory through Wi-Fi access. So you allow these people to do it. You vote them to my office, and because of who they are, and don't give a shit about what they do when they get in there, they turn America into a demonic society, where we're listening to each other's thoughts and calling that a Christian miracle, while the military is committing a genocide on one side of the planet, as the authorities use the same technology to create an Arab Spring in any society they want. It's amazing. It looks like they're trying to get somebody to go to war with America, namely Russia, because the Chinese don't seem to be buying it anymore. The Turks don't know whether to shoot at us or stay our ally. I mean, they're forcing other people to go through mass population displacement and genocide. They're torturing and abusing American public at home, at school, and on the job, and to where it's common to have mass public shootings almost every day at a school. You walk on the campus and you get shot in the breakfast line. All right, so it's like I said, they got it tweaked down where demonic entities from the astral plane can just walk in. These people are lunging at you in public. Near missed traffic accidents, synchronized passing is not people popping up wherever you go at the exact same time. People tend to do that in busier hours of the day, but but once they get to fucking with you, it looks like there's somebody always around you and tracking you. But synchronized passing does happen, but there's usually an aim to it. What synchronized passing is they're literally tweaking your mind and thoughts around you, and trafficking, and even in shopping centers, to where people will literally walk right into you, and you'll do it too. Like, you can see this person coming, they can see you, but neither one of you will think to change course. You'll just slam your buckets into each other and then think about it. That's how sophisticated the technology is. Like right now, I'm going to tell you how dangerous it is and how much danger you are and I am if you're one of these people that they are targeting. And it's harming everybody. Make no mistake, even the people that think this is a Christian miracle. It's harming everybody. It's why it's radioactive frequencies and radio signals, man. Microwave emissions. You don't want this passing through your body. It's bad enough when it comes out of your cell phones and wireless devices and passes through you. But now they've hotwired our bodies with this shit and sprayed our atmosphere over our heads. We've got them using HARP. And HARP is using the sky like a boom box, man. It's using the sky like a boom mic. You know what I'm saying? They're using the mic, the sky like a freaking intercom out here, man. Set up a digital grid in the sky so they can plant false illusions in the sky. This is all stuff that the military was talking about and discussing with the CIA years ago in the 70s and stuff, man. When these black budget programs were really coming out of the area of, the Roswell crash, when this Roswell shit was really coming out. I don't want to go into the Roswell crash, but from what I understand, the Roswell crash was actually an early attempt at these beings who monitor what's going on this planet to help push humanity forward. We took the bait, misused it, and they did not give us what we thought we were getting. They basically gave us the keys and the doorway to go into the information age, the fiber optics age. And what the military decided to do and was to put out a story originally that it was some type of a UFO crash because of the amazing technology that was going to come out of it. Because you got to consider it's the 40s, right after World War II, America's still naive. The military is still naive. So the social conscience is still naive. So we can release this out publicly as a real UFO crash. And you know what? We can't do this. Somebody gets the bright idea and the intelligence circles. No, wait a minute. Let's hop the steamroller on this. And let's say that it was a weather balloon. And let's keep this under wraps until we fully understand how far we can go with this gift. The gift was bait. It opens the door for them to expand our access to information. But it also opens the door for them to show their true colors. And not only that, it opens the door for these entities, these watchers that Enoch was mentioning, to gain access to our society. So yes, there's a benevolent group of entities involved on this planet, but their involvement is restrictive, as there is a type of judgment going on with God. But you got to consider that God is not a human being, and he has intentions and motivations which are not ours. So mind all my cursing or not, I'm not going to be able to influence God's opinion one way or the other, and I was unsuccessful at kicking God and those beings out of my life. So if you've been following me, man, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm kind of out of it, man. I don't feel so well. So I'm going to try to wrap up real quick, man. But it's getting dangerous. They've busted all this technology out, man. And it's allowing them to do some horrible things to people right now. And I'm afraid, you people think that Bel Narok would be saying something like this. Of course I'm not Bel Narok, but you think somebody would like that rough edge stuff, that would say this stuff, man. But I'm actually becoming kind of frightened and emotional sense, almost kind of a depressing sense, that the United States has gone in the direction we won't be able to walk out of while I'm living. So I'm not calculating your grandchildren's timeline here. Your grandchildren may not grow up, man. I mean, I'm afraid we might be in the last hours of our humanity in this generation, and this might be a terminal generation on the earth. Might even be a terminal year. You gotta excuse me, my face is kind of seized up at this point, so that's why my speech is sounding like it is. I'm not mean while during the course of the video, but I've been like this for the last month or two, and it's getting harder for me to be all stalwart and stand my ground about this stuff like I was before in the years that they've been doing this to me. It's been going on since I left the military, but I didn't realize that I had to go back down through YouTube and do the research first, then think backwards and do my own research on who was doing this to me. And I know it was the military that went after me because of what I used to do for them. I was military intelligence. So that you can imagine in all those years they might have discovered things about me I didn't want them to know. Like about Ludus and about the fact that I had been a contactee growing up in Montgomery, Alabama. There's with these watcher beings that Enoch mentioned. Excuse me. Yeah, it's gotten bad in America. It's frightening. But not so frightening as I'm afraid to go out in public. It's more frightening as to I don't want to go out here and allow these people to craft a traffic accident by clipping somebody's thoughts as they're heading through an intersection so they can forget the damn light just turned red, man. And it's like 3 fucking cars forget the light just turned red or something. That's what they mean by synchronized passing. Be careful if you have family members that have had a history of mental illness, that they don't get on YouTube and start watching this stuff and start saying, well, that's what's happening to me. I know I hate to sound like I'm excluding people that may not understand that they are being genuinely targeted, but yeah, there are schizophrenics and people that are mentally retarded, but if you're being targeted, it's more sinister than that. It's when people at the grocery store are looking over their shoulders talking about you and your information as if they were sitting at home with you. An old black church lady and her friends from Bible study buying their Sunday dinner didn't know what you were doing at home 5 hours ago. Alright, they shouldn't be getting aggressive with you. And it's awkward people. Like, if you're a 35-year-old man that's getting rusty, 4 teenagers, at Sam's Club shouldn't be sitting in there talking to you like they'll punch you down but from a standpoint as if you're involved in their lives. Like, when you know you're being targeted, what people will do is they talk like you're involved in their personal affairs. They talk like you're involved in their family life and expenses. They talk like you're directly involved in their personal affairs. They'll be like, you know, saying, all you got to do is sit up and watch TV all day, or all you do is be on the internet all day, and they'll be sitting up looking at me. You ain't got to do nothing. You ain't got to go to work. Yeah, all the rest of these folks got to do that. You ain't got to. That's how they'll talk to you. And when you're at home alone, they're talking inside your head like that. And then pretty soon you'll notice that these people are talking about your sex life too. Even if you don't have a sex life, they'll guesswork. They'll guess things about you, and they'll guess that in your head. They'll sit there and guess and wonder. That's what it is. What's being done is, this video might actually go into an hour because I'm not gonna make sense otherwise. All right. So what's being done is they're allowing these people to basically focus on your thoughts all the time, as almost to the point where your thoughts and theirs become one. Alright, that's part of the program that they've busted out in America, which makes it so dangerous. And why there are so many public shootings, because it really is these people's thoughts, is not their intention. Because their thoughts, it makes you want to kill people. I'm sorry. It makes you want to shoot up a theater. You have to be honest. That's what's getting this done. It's making people shoot up theaters. Shooting up schools. We don't want this to happen, but it's being allowed to happen. And you know, somebody gets the bright idea to put everybody's thoughts on the exact same thought frequency, and this is going to be some type of new law enforcement. It's not. They're going to ruin this society with that. They've opened the gates of hell. These people, they are. Remember what I was saying earlier. You can see the demonic energy. It's a spiritual energy. It'll come over to people when they do this to you in public. When they ride by you, when they synchronize passing, when these people ride past you and almost damn near hit these damn near hit traffic events, you know, when they're flying through intersections and flying past you on intersections and curves and stuff like that, like, look at their faces. They're staring at you. The cars that actually do that, they're staring at you. And it's usually while you're driving up the street. Like, you can drive 1 mile up the street and turn back, and they'll make that happen for you at least 4 times, if they can arrange for it. If they have you in the targeting box right then and there. It's basically, they have satellites and time over target, which they can see you on the ground and triangulate you just the right way. Yeah, they can kill you in traffic, run you off the road. These people, what they'll do, they'll clip one of these people's thoughts right the hell off, and they'll just stare at you and won't mind the fact that they just sped through a red light to hit you. They won't know that. Same thing I said, shopping at Walmart. They'll clip their thoughts off right in front of you, and every other shopper around you is going to come down the exact same aisle and congregate on the things that you're looking at. It's not because they want to, and it's not because inside their head they're saying, I'm finna go harass you. While you're standing at the ramen noodles and the mashed potatoes, everybody just thought mashed potatoes, ramen noodles, so now they're on that aisle where the ramen noodles are. They're on the aisle where the mashed potatoes are, because your thoughts and their thoughts are now indistinguishable. But the target is having his thoughts mimicked in other people. So what it creates to the target is the feeling that society is closing in on you, like walls or something. Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom or something. The walls are literally closing in on you. That gives you that impression everybody's out to get you. And some people will want to go get revenge on the people they deem to be wanting to get them. And the most readily available people are your neighbors, which you don't want to do. Some of your neighbors are not really as scrupulous as you might think into what's going on. These people are being forced to think about you, so naturally speaking, they're unnaturally concerned about you. They're unnaturally and synthetically angry at you and upset with you. They're following you on social media not because they really want to, it's because they really have to, because somebody's turned their thought process to, I'm going to look at this Facebook account. No, I'm going to look at this damn Facebook account. Then it becomes, I gotta look at this Facebook account. And next thing you know, is no longer the targeted individuals that's sitting alone hours on end on the internet trying to get answers and find support networks and stuff. It's now the people that are aiming to target you. They're up around the clock, and they'll get to where they're watching and paying attention to what you. It's so state of the art. It's miraculous technology. They can tweak it down to where a person can decode from your brain remotely what music you are listening to. So one of your neighbors, without being able to hear your music through the wall, they can tell that you're listening to 3 6 Mafia. Alright, they can tell you're listening to Behemoth. Alright, they can tell what commercial just came up on YouTube when you clicked on Behemoth. Alright, they can hear your brain decode that sound audio information into a mental signal, so it can be transferred into memory, and it's dumped on top of these people's brains artificially, where it is then later translated into their memory synapse. You get what I'm understanding? These people have taken other people's thoughts, hot-wired them together like cell phones, and throw them up into this grid where they can literally use our minds like a template, with the literal sky being a like a grid, a lockdown grid, a net whereby which they can psychically and spiritually attack the public. I don't know how many societies this is happening in, but you can imagine if the United States is doing this, its allies want the technology. If they don't already have this shit, you can imagine what type of scum would want this technology. How do you create ISIS and get them killing for as long as they killed inside of Syria and Iraq? Can you imagine what the bodies odor over there smell like from the sewage and the people lying in there because there's no one to come clean up this death? Human waste, defecation. No, we're not shaping the events of Armageddon according to the Christian Bible. What we are doing is spiritual iniquity as a society. Now, I know you don't believe in Babylon, but there were two Babylons. Then we're going to talk about old Babylon. First, we're going to talk about history's Babylon. Old Babylon was a land of Nimrod. Nimrod was a mighty hunter before the Lord. He impressed the Lord with what he did. But Nimrod overexerted himself. So eventually, Nimrod came to a downfall. Alright, so what was Babylon came again, but it was not quite the same. In fact, Babylon reincarnated several times throughout the centuries. Babylon was where the world gathered together to become the most civilized society, the most advanced society, the most intellectual and artistic society on earth, which is what America is doing. Now, a lot of people say don't compare America to Babylon. Some people say America is modern days Israel, where all the nations would be gathered. But spiritually speaking, what is America most alike to you? According to the Bible, America can be compared to two places. Alright? This great city that's going to fall. Alright? Which is not falling. This great city that's supposed to fall in 1 hour. This city that keeps coming. This thing. This system. This beast that keeps coming back. This beast. What was this beast that came out of the earth? Nimrod is a symbol for Nimrod, and his symbol was a lion. He carried a lion in his arms. In some traditions, this great hero, son of God, or son of the gods, this great hero wrestled a bear, or it's a lion. He's a conqueror. He overcame obstacles, and everybody was attracted to him. This is the guy that lowered the flood waters, dredged the Nile Valley. This is the guy that was a hero. This is the guy who duplicated what God did. This is the guy who found Eridu and had it re-established. Latter Babylon is where history went wrong, where the kings, there were no more people like Nimrod, and the people came in from other societies and reestablished what the Babylon that fell after they were scattered throughout the earth. What else we call Babel. They're talking about Baalbek, Lebanon. That's where the original Babel was. It was once ruled. Old Babylon was actually Baalbek, Lebanon. It was later relocated across to Nineveh in Iraq. The great city of Nineveh became the hub of Babylonian civilization. But that was the time when Babylon had become nothing but a puppet state to, the Persians and the Medes, so, which was actually occurred. They divided up the kingdom. Well, seeing as how you can't even defend your fucking self from measly fucking marauders anymore, that's what's going to happen to you. So I've deviated, and I'm giving you that comparison. This great conquering civilizer. What is America doing? It's a great nation that can conquer anyone when it gets ready to, and then civilize the people that it just brutally fucking conquered. So spiritually speaking, America is like Babylon the Great. It's a place where all these confusion of ethnicities and languages have mingled together and become a monster where walking personalities from the astral plane can walk into you from mass public surveillance being generated by electromagnetic fields which are dangerous to both the human body and soul. It's incredible. Sodom and Gomorrah. Actually, Sodom in Egypt. So God compared this city, this Babylon, this mystery Babylon, to Sodom in Egypt. Sodom basically is a place of iniquity. Some people think that's that place Babadra and Numir. That was Sodom and Gomorrah. It quite could be, but it's not important right now. So if one place is a place of iniquity, and Egypt means the house of bondage, so it's a place where people are bound in bondage and also in iniquity together. And it's like Babel, because in its iniquity where they are artificially bound together, they are in a confusion of languages and culture. It's like somebody took a bunch of birds of different species, all requiring different habitations and things they need in order to survive inside the environment, and they trap them together in this cage. And once they're inside this cage, all these birds can not help but argue in different songs, because they're all different birds. Although birds are all the same, from the same family of creatures, they're all birds. They're all descended from the dinosaurs. All right. Theropod dinosaurs. That's the last of the theropod dinosaurs, are flying out there singing and waking you up in the morning. That's what happened to the T-Rex and the Velociraptor. They turn into lovebirds and pigeons and chickens that we eat. So birds all trapped together, different types of birds. You imagine if you went to the zoo and some idiot zoo caretaker, I said curator, I can't believe it. Well, actually, I mean, it kind of sucks. These animals are on display like museum pieces, but never mind. Alright, so these people have a big cat pen, and they have open freely tigers, lions, leopards, snow leopards, jaguars, and mountain lions and stuff that's wandering the hell around freely in the same exact pen, not separate. Imagine polar grizzly bears, black bears, sun bears, Kodiak bears, all locked together in the same bear cage. Who the fuck came up with that idea? Imagine Chinese, Indians, alright, Malaysians, Mexicans, Colombians, Europeans, Africans, Arabs, Semites and Jews, East Europeans, people from Russia, all living in America together. From different parts of America, being raised and learning different cultures of America. East Coast culture, West Coast culture, dirty South and Midwest culture. Learning all these different things. It's a confusion of languages, cultures, regional things, football teams. There's a mix of spirituality and religion. Everything is mixed, matched, and mangled together here. Our food is mixed, matched, and mangled together to the point that on TV, some of the advertisements are so over the top, the food is not appealing. And somebody said that might be deliberate, that they are treating humanity like cattle now. So when you watch your Burger King and Hardee's commercial, they're showing you what they desire for you to eat. Put redundant meat together, redundant cheese sauce and stuff on this meat. Doesn't even look appetizing. But you'll go out and spend money on it because it's on TV and the graphics are mind controlling. The colors that make you want to eat. Red, yellow, orange, lunchtime colors. Colors you see at lunch. Red lights. Yellow traffic light paint. Lights red. You gotta wait at the light. McDonald's is right up there through the next light. Big red and yellow sign. Mind control. Must stop by Regions. Green. Must stop by Wood Forest. The bank is right there. Green. Money. Green. Sign. Cash. Check cashing today. Check cashing today. Oh, don't wait. The Super Porn Center right off the next exit. Exit 85. Come up here now. Alright. Listen to Y85. You know what I'm saying? WY85 radio. Gotta hear local gossip. Come on. It's lunch hour. It's rush hour. Gotta listen to what everybody else talking about. Gotta make it home. Pick up the kids. Gotta know what's happening on daytime TV. Gotta go and check my DVR. Wow. You know, and it's mind control. And now they've interrupted our thought process with artificial thought notes. So now all the songbirds in this choir, this unholy choir of angels that God calls humanity, have their thoughts mingled together. So now the bassists are no longer playing in tune with the drummer. The guitarist is sitting down on his job. The person with the flute and the violin are playing the same note. They should be playing entirely different notes at different parts of the song. The whole band is going awry. And nobody cares because everybody's picked the team. Like, I'm a Republican. You're a Democrat. You're a liberal. I'm an independent. I'm a conservative. You know what I'm saying? Alright, football mentality. Mine is bigger than yours mentality. Showcasing and showboating. Public shaming and exposing other human beings. Showing more interest in public figures than your own children. That's why your children are sitting back there being exposed to demonic entertainment. Corrupted sexual entertainment. Corrupted ideas of themselves. And how they should be growing up as functioning human beings. And they've thrown up this EM field over the society, which is now going to allow them to give these beings a conduit by which to walk into our minds. It's like I said, the gray matter of your brain is sensitive to EM fields and thought wave transmissions. All they had to do was make these thought waves synthetic and produce them through electronic means. And now these authorities over here, these corrupted authorities, can send out what I call blank note thoughts. I just a term I think I just coined for right now. Blank notes of thought. So now the choir of songbirds is hearing blank notes of thought. Imagine that it's a note, or you've ever seen a sheet music written down in notation. Imagine it's blank, all right. And so what your brain does with this tapestry, and the human imagination has a tendency to wonder, even it's about Final Fantasy 13, or the last chick you looked up on that illicit website. The human imagination naturally has a tendency to wanderlust, to go after the things that it wishes could exist. Like that car you don't own that you wish was a Dodge Viper, but it's really just, a red Hyundai Sonata that you just bought that you wish you had as a Dodge Viper. But so imagine if there's a field that makes it very easy for the mind to wander off all the time. And not only that, it creates a big tapestry by which everybody is writing on the same sheet of music to compose the exact same song, but all in different handwriting at the exact same time. So imagine going to music class one morning and you and all your classmates are asked by the grade school teacher, I want you to all compose a song and write it out in musical notations on the exact same sheet of paper at the same time. Make sure to use your own handwriting and also your own individual perspective on how the music sounds to your unique brain. So somebody up there in this black budget secret deep government creepy Pizzagate pedophiles who are elite and smart as all hell decided it'd be a good idea to create a public blanket personality to target people they don't want in society anymore that they've deemed a threat. So while they're flexing what amounts to flexing a gay homosexual rainbow across the front of the White House to the tune of Syrian and Iraqi genocide and the neglect of what's happening in Yemen and Myanmar and the starvation that's going on in North Korea, I mean, it's amazing. And they're not the only places that are starving. So I want to get into all this, they overlook Africa stuff, man. People have been begging for people to help Africa for ages. Now the Asians have moved into Africa, and so who's finna get all those resources, and I'm not going into that. So now, what would be the perfect time to start a war in the Asian Pacific? Well, now that Asia's gotten their hands on Africa, it's time to upset the Asian Pacific. So these criminals don't care if they start a war in the Middle East and the Asia Pacific at the same time. And it's frightening. The North Koreans are trying to walk away from World War III, but the United States won't let them. So, in a nutshell, what's going on in America is that they're taking people out, veterans, these underground leaders of these separatist groups and militia organizations, outspoken political figures, getting the Joan Rivers treatment. They're getting the Donald Trump treatment, which, by the way, is the current U.S. president, but he's getting the old. For all intents and purposes, I hate to do this, but Donald Trump might be addable at this point to the targeted individual community. Here's your bracelet and a t-shirt, I guess, and your oatmeal cookie. I don't know if you like the kind with raisins in it, but I do. Wow, they don't care. They're targeting a sitting U.S. president. The last U.S. president was making this stuff possible while he was playing golf and flexing rainbows. This man was sitting up there in leisure and having a taste test of America when he should have been running the country and negotiating peace terms with the people in the Middle East, Russia, and the Asian Pacific, coming up with things that we can help everybody. If we can't help everybody, become the most advanced thing, at least we can share the food, man. It doesn't have to be this way. I love David Icke saying it. I like David Icke, man. A lot of people don't like David Icke, but David Icke is honest. It doesn't have to be this way. And yes, man, I was mad enough at Enoch's Watchers, which is what I call them. They're not Enoch. He didn't create them, but Enoch's Watchers. They're nice, man. They're nice. They're like the beings I'm in contact with me that are around me. They're like the Muggles from Final Fantasy series, man. They really are nice, but they don't have the they've not been ordered to fucking go up against F-35s and nuclear armaments. Alright, so I'm going to shut this video down because I'm at the hour, and I think you get the gist of it. They've opened up our brains to outside influence, and there's literally nothing we can do about it except dodge mass public shootings. Thank you if you could bear this video. Thank you.